The following presentation is for mature audiences only.
Who are you?
He's a fine man.
All hell is broken loose.
He's a great broadcaster.
He's a very powerful guy. Absolutely brilliant.
Feared by men, adored by women.
He's a smart boy.
It's patriotic.
It's no big deal.
It's the end of the world. I might as well tell you now. He's a monkey.
And how you doing, ladies and germs and bald-headed worms? Welcome in to another edition of The Wild Side with Eric Clark. I'm your host, Eric Clark, saying thank you for taking time out of your busy day to give my little video a watch and a listen. If you like it, like it. If you think other people are going to dig it, give it a share. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel and you are following me on all of the social media platforms. That way, if there's a band, a song, a video, something you want me to check out, you can hit me up with a DM or you can leave it in the comments below. If you are going to hit me up with a DM, do me a favor. No spamming. I understand the mentality behind it. Just please don't do that to me. I try to get to everybody's stuff. I write it down in the book. I even go back and reread through comments just to make sure I'm trying to catch as many suggestions as possible. But when you get 500-600 comments, it can get a little bit. And I do have a day job. That is my priority. That's why I'm never asking you guys for money. I have a day job, so I'm not going to ask you for money. Don't pound on me with the spam in my DMs and on social media. Just do me that favor. And if you are going to leave it in the comments below, do me another favor. This one's fun, though. Join the I Concur Army. Only you can concur to a suggested song. Just give the comments a read through, a cursory look over. If you see yours has been suggested, it's probably going to have a lot of comments and replies below it with more I concurs, and just leave an I concur. That helps my old DJ brain put everything into a nice little list and hopefully get it into the handy dandy notebook. So that's another thing I'm looking for when I'm going through my comment section, is which one has the most replies. And then I'll read through the replies, and then people will be suggesting stuff in the replies. It's like, bro, it looks like I'm diagramming a sentence going down it. So I'm trying to get to everybody's stuff, but thank you very much for playing along. I enjoy seeing the I Concur pop up on random social media posts on other reactors' channels. It is hilarious. I laugh every time. It humbles me, and I cannot thank you enough. So thank you, everybody. And thank you for all of your help with band names and histories and pronunciations and all that other stuff. Thank you very much. I'm learning on my journey, and you are all my guides as I climb up the mountain of metal. So your job is to hand me oxygen tanks every now and again because you've been here before, and I'm acting like it's a big deal. So thank you very much for being my guides on my journey. Thank you to Aspen Dental, Connect 200 Music 2C, and Gothic Jewelry. They are those that power the Wild Side with Eric Clark. So thank you very much to them. I'm not going to ask you for money. I'm only going to ask that you sit there and allow me to name the people that make the show possible. So that's the little trade-off we have. And as we used to say in radio, got to pay the bills. Got to pay the bills. Coming up, we're going to be spinning the platters that matter. I'm in the air chair, and it's time to get the lead out. Got to pay the bills first, though. If you ever hear me on the radio speak that way, if you ever hear me speak that way in conversation or on the radio, in a commercial or anything, if it's in a commercial, I'm getting paid to do it. But if you ever hear me speak that way, you have my permission to slap me across the face and give me the share snap out of it. You are more than welcome to do that to me. And it's funny, I even said air chair. One of my first, I don't know if you'd call it corrections, struggles on air were crutch phrases. Crutch phrases, these are things you use to get you through how you speak on the radio. Because I'll always say this, nothing is harder than going from Metallica to Herb Adcock Chevrolet. That's very difficult. It's very difficult to do that. So you have to find a way to do it. And in radio, we have crutch phrases. Stick around, on the way, coming up, things like that are very common. So we have these things called air checks. It's where you take a recording of your on-air performance into your boss, who is there to guide you along your path to on-air dominance, if you will. And he listens, he plays it in front of you, and then you sit there with your notebook, and he tells you how to correct these certain things that you're doing on air that you shouldn't be doing, to clean you up a little bit, to make you a better broadcaster. That's really what the job is. And I'll never forget, I actually said air chair one time. And I went in It was like a Tuesday or something like that. It was your air check day. And I went into my boss, John Thomas. He passed away on my birthday in 2018. He's the guy who got me into radio, introduced me into radio. He was the one that said, hey, you got a nice voice. How would you like to be a DJ? So he was my guide through it all. So I was, tell me what to do, man. I'll never forget. He had this Techniques. I think it was a black Techniques cassette deck. And he was playing my tape. And he hit play, and I said, I'm Jake Wild in the air chair. This is exactly how it happened. I'll never, because it changed everything. It did. It really changed me. He stopped and went, just like that. And I went, okay, so no more. He said, no more phrases that are puker. They're called pukers. Hey, everybody, it's that puker thing. It's like, no. This isn't top 40 radio. You're not introducing dance music. You're not, this is rock and roll, man. You can't do that. So it was really a very awkward, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Well, I'll never forget that day. Sitting there with my notebook, ready to learn. And he was just so embarrassing and it never happened again. But I have said, get the lead out. We've all said that. If you work in rock, classic rock radio, it's just part of the dialogue. Get the lead out. Fill the Floyd void. Rollin' doobies. I think I've said that a few times because I guess I thought it sounded cool or whatever. So anyway, thank you very much for letting me pay the bills. I'm sorry I went off on that little tangent there. Monday night, 2 big acts were down at the historic Ryman Auditorium. Sabaton, and today's video brought to you via suggestion, and I will give Homeboy credit. Almost every video I have done, he has put the same suggestions in there. So I applaud him for his consistency, and I totally am going to give him credit when I'm able to. But right now my brain, it slipped, and I didn't write it down. But you can look through. It's the same ones. It's the same 5 or 6 tracks every time. So thank you for that commitment. It's not pounding on me. I get it. You're just politely reminding me. So thank you very much. Today, we are going to be checking out Epica from the retrospective CD in 2013, I believe, in Eindhoven. If I'm not mistaken, was this not the concert where Floor Jensen was a guest? And there were a couple of other guests that night, right? So if I'm not mistaken, that's the show. Let me know down below. But today we are checking out Unleashed. It is Epica. Here we go.
Next song for the evening. This is Unleashed.
I know it's going to hit hard too. That was massive. That was a massive track, dude. That is a lot to unpack because it's live. The performances are elevated to 11, if you will. Everything's been turned up to 11. So a lot to unpack here. And I hate this ad on the end because there's a specific part in the song that really, there's a specific part in this video that really captures how grand and magnetic that performance was. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to get through this dumb ad, but, you know, got to pay the bills, right? So there's a part that really, really, really captures the magnetism of this song and this performance. Okay, right here. This is where it is. Because at this point, it's a beautifully constructed piece of music, isn't it? It's a beautifully constructed piece of music from beginning to end, because as I was listening to the beginning, it's coming in with such beauty and such brightness and such an almost joyful newness to the tone and the colors that are being set. But you know there's an impendingness to it, that you know the shoe is going to drop. And it's not really a shoe, it's more like a steel-toed boot, but you know it's going to drop and you're waiting for it. And the anticipation of that is just incredible. It's just oppressive in how it weighs on you while you're listening to that intro, to that opening piece with the beautiful bright colors. And then here comes that really thick and rich drive coming from the bass and the drums and the orchestra as well. This may be one of the rare situations you see where the drums are really forcing the orchestra to keep up. Where the orchestra is having to set itself on a pace and on a level with that drummer. That's incredible drumming there. A lot of subtleties involved, but the driving force of this piece of music is that connection between the drum, the bass, and the guitars. And what it's creating is this wonderful rise and fall of colors through your pattern. Through your color spectrum, you're seeing all of the colors that are creating that positive and forward-moving drive that's coming through that song. So you find yourself getting brought in by that right away. You're just like, dude, this is heavy. It's crunchy. It's traditional. It's rich. It's bright. It's wide. And it's deep. And it's a really good foundation. And then when she comes in, Simone comes in with her vocals, I wrote down effortless. That was the word that I wrote down. Her ability to go from operatic to metal in the same verse is marvelous to watch happen. And again, the song itself is inspirational, isn't it? It's a very inspirational song of almost a phoenix rising, if you will. But yet it creates, and I wrote down, it's one of those blooming flowers in the battlefield tunes, isn't it? It's how I kind of describe some of the songs that I've seen from Epica, from Nightwish, from all of these bands that y'all have been introducing me to. I've seen that some, very few, but some of these vocalists are able to just draw you in and take you on this wonderful journey of exploration of colors in your own palette, where she's going from this really soft and comfortable and warm, beautiful, rich, operatic tone into the commanding presence. And she is just, without a doubt, very, very captivating. She is a captivating presence on stage. But I wanted to pause it here because this moment, this young person and what they're doing right here is one of the most, I don't understand anyone else. This encapsulates, this captures the very essence of the journey of this song. She's gone. No one around her is existing. They are in their own space, in their own element, taking their own journey, being guided by this wonderfully, beautifully, brilliantly violent piece of music that's forcing them to go onto these paths that maybe they wouldn't take, and they're free of any inhibition. This moment in this video, to me, is very important to the impact that this band has on their fans. This person, and I love watching people at shows do this, they're gone. Physically, they are there. Physically, they're at the show and they are hearing everything. But it's beyond that now, isn't it? It's the third eye. It's the sixth sense. It's beyond the mortal realm of understanding the connection that's being made by this person and this song. And it's beautiful to watch. Gone. Gone. It's a beautiful thing to see. And even though it is a tenth of a second, I felt that. I felt that, young person. I get it, because at this point, you're 5 minutes into this wonderful journey of pneumatic emotional pounding. And at some point, you just have to turn yourself over to it. And to see that, and I get it. Everybody else is horns up, and I understand and I connect with the person who's gone, with the person who has allowed themselves to fall into their own self and take that journey, being driven against their will by that music. And that's why this song is as massive as it is, and it should be. And her vocals are that guiding brightness. Her vocals are the light at the end of any tunnel that you may go through on the journey through this song. And I find that to just be absolutely uniquely brilliant. So thank you very much for that suggestion. That is Epica with Unleashed live, Eindhoven 2013, I believe. Retrospective was the DVD. Let me know everything down below. Give me the histories, give me the connections, give me the pronunciations, all that stuff. So thank you very much for that. That was a great song. That was a really, and I'm jealous that happened down the street and I didn't use connections to go, because, I'm a single dad. Maybe I can't afford tickets and it's a hassle to get downtown. But that might be one of my 2022 regret shows right there, to see that performed live. Because a lot of times, and I'm telling you this from my experiences, a lot of times bands will compensate for a lot of things through spectacle. They'll compensate with adding an orchestra. They'll compensate with pyrotechnics. They'll compensate with light shows. Some bands live up to and exceed the grandness of the spectacle that they create in person. And I believe Epica to be one of those bands. And I'm putting them in the same category with Pink Floyd, Yes. And there was even a part there, and I wrote it down too, 249. There was a part in this track where real subtly, real cool, man. Again, I love how these bands are doing this now. It shows the brilliance of the people putting these songs together. Because there's this point here where real subtly the flute comes in, and it almost adds, it makes a connection back to the beginning, but it almost adds in this credulity of Jethro Tull, of progressive metal, doesn't it? It almost adds that flavor. You're like, oh yeah, that familiar taste. Absolutely brilliant. Just absolute, the subtlety in there, man. It's just so cool. So that was a great track. So thank you very much. But again, a lot of bands will make up for their lack of ability with the spectacle, and Epica is not that band. They exceed the grandiose spectacle that is in front of you, and that's why I think maybe I connected to that person. Because, yeah, it's big, and yeah, it's huge, and there's lights, and there's flames, and there's an orchestra, but the song and the music and the band and the vocals, take you somewhere beyond all of that. So that was just absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much for that suggestion. Keep them coming, by the way. Keep your same list going. You can just, like, if you know how to cross them out, now you can cross out Epica. I'll try to get to the Skid Row 18 in Life live version as well. So thank you for the suggestions. Thank you, everybody, for your suggestions and your time, taking time out of your day. I know the world is a crazy place. You got a lot going on. So thank you very much for taking time out of your day to give my little video a watch and a listen. Thank you to Aspen Dental, Connect 200, Music 2C, and Gothic Jewelry. Without them, I wouldn't be sitting here. So thank you. Make sure you're looking out for each other. Make sure you're looking out for your neighbor. Try to do at least one good thing a day. I am Eric Clark, and this has been The Wild Side.